So, hello, namaskar, and a very good evening, everybody. Welcome to Soulful Sundays. And I'm so sorry we got late, but we are here with Miss Zainab Sheikh, who is a Theta Healer. And I think this is an interesting concept that is really, really new in Pakistan. And I think there are very few healers that are present in Pakistan for Theta healing. And this is an amazing, amazing process where Ms. Zainab Sheikh is going to talk about how it works, how it changes your life, how you break your limiting beliefs, and how you work on your future after working on it. So I think this session is going to be brilliant, amazing, and I'm hoping to see you working with you, Zainab, and heading over to you, Zainab.
Thank you so much, Ivani. Thank you for having me. And I'm very excited to talk about not just theta healing, but healing itself, the self healing journey that can be so you can sort of access your self healing journey through many different healing modalities. It can be Reiki, it can be therapy, it can be sort of different forms of meditation that you can take up. So I want to speak a little bit about just healing in general before I start talking about theta healing. Um, I think for me, healing signifies your awakening. And by awakening, I mean all of us, each one of us, I think, and I truly believe, was created to experience magnificent things in life. And I feel that each one of us was meant to experience well being, was meant to experience our abundance, our goodness. Um, and when we awaken, we realize that that is what our reality is. And for me, that's the first step into healing. You know, when you truly start to remember who you are and what you are meant to experience in this world. Healing is also a process of empowering yourself. I feel like when you start to take back power from past negative cycles, experiences, toxic relationships, and you begin to empower yourself, you start to take ownership of your energy, you start to take ownership of your experiences, you begin to decide uh, who you want to exist as. That I think is also can be described as healing. Um, Also, living, you know, when you start to live your life as yourself and not as a reaction to others or your circumstances, um, that I think that's another way of starting your healing journey. Um, and really, I think the most powerful way of describing healing is, I think, when a person begins to realize that the present moment can be the most powerful moment that they have ever experienced in their life so far. I think that's when your healing truly, truly begins. Um, so yeah, and it's, healing is a journey, it's a process, it's not something that happens overnight. You can experience magnificent things overnight, but healing itself is a journey and it requires a certain amount of commitment, and really a lifestyle change. And whether it's theta healing, whether it's Reiki or any other form of healing that you take up, or traditional therapy, um, you can take your mind, your body, your energy to it's like taking it to the spa. But then you also have to know how to maintain that frequency, that vibration. You have to stay focused on where you want to go from there. So I'd like to talk about all these things today. um, why theta healing and how I came to theta healing. um, so something that's very interesting is that our mind is like a set of records of all our memories and all our experiences. When we experience something in the present moment, we use all five senses to experience what we experience, and then all of that goes back, and there's a response given by us as a person. All of that goes back to our brain, and then we give a response, and those responses, those autopilot responses, um, are all they're all a part of our programming, and that programming comes from memory and experiences. Um, so all of everything, whether it's alive in your conscious mind or suppressed in your conscious mind, it's all present in your subconscious mind. And when it's present in your subconscious mind, it also makes up a part of your energy. So in theta healing, we work in a theta state. The theta state is the most relaxed state that you can be in while you're still awake, and it is the only state, sort of brainwave and brain state that you can be in where you can actually access your subconscious mind. So theta healing, I found it very intriguing and interesting. That there's a technique where we can access the subconscious mind. We can release subconscious beliefs that are no longer serving us, that are limiting us, and then not only release them, but we can actually work on empowering ourselves with more powerful beliefs. So in the theta state, like I said, we can access our subconscious mind. Theta healers are trained to be in this deep meditative state, and during a theta healing session as well, the theta healing practitioner tries to take the client into a theta state as well, or teach them how to meditate and how to make their meditations deeper and deeper, so they can experience the same state and sort of take control of how they want to experience life, how make connections to their limiting beliefs, to their thought patterns, to their negative cycles. um, a lot of the theta work is actually done by the practitioner in the session. um, there is a process where we sort of dig deeper to find the core belief, to find out where all of it is stemming from. And usually it goes back to, most of the time, 90% of the time, it goes back to your childhood. For example, if someone comes for a theta healing session, and the issue or the aspect of their life that we choose to work around revolves around not experiencing their self-worth in relationships. So we usually dig back and try to go back to the first experience they had. It could be a relationship, it could be a moment, it could be multiple experiences. It could be through your parenting, through your schooling, etc., etc., where you experience feeling like you were not worthy of a relationship that appreciated you for who you are, acknowledged you for who you are, or respected your boundaries. Um, and when we're taken back to that initial core belief and we release it, um, along the way, we're also releasing all the smaller beliefs that were built upon that big foundation core belief. So a lot of the things, 90% of the time, link back to your childhood. So theta healing also involves a very deep sort of spiritual belief and awareness of the Creator's unconditional love for all His creations. And along with, obviously, the release of subconscious beliefs, the great meditation techniques that come with theta healing, I think the one thing that really, really got me sort of I was at a point where there was no going back with theta healing. I think it was what this belief made me experience, that the Creator has complete unconditional love for all His creations, and that unconditional love is present to each and every one of us at all times. And I think that really, really strengthened my surrender to the universe and to the Creator, and I'll talk about that more later as well. So with theta healing, how we usually work around it is that in every session, I try to encourage the clients to bring up one aspect of their life that they'd like to experience a change in. So we go step by step, segment by segment, and there's a lot of sometimes there are a lot of emotions that come up. We discuss a lot of your childhood, a lot of your relationships, but it always ends well, because you're left knowing and feeling and believing that in the present moment, in your theta healing session, you've just taken your power back. You've released a belief that no longer serves you. You're not allowing any belief to limit you any longer, and you're taking your power back. And if you look in, if you look deeper into what a belief is, it's a thought that is thought over and over again till it becomes a belief, right? And when you think a thought over and over again, and it becomes a belief, and then it becomes a part of your subconscious mind, it becomes a part of your energy, um, that becomes your reality, and your perspective of life, your reality of life. It's all sort of viewed through um, whatever beliefs you're holding in your subconscious mind and in your energy. So theta healing is very, very powerful. You're really changing your perspective, you're changing your own reality, and you're taking charge and changing your experiences. Um, so yes, I would definitely advise everyone to anyone who's wanting to break cycles, who's wanting to break negative patterns, who is experiencing, regular sort of toxicity in relationships, um, or just feeling like they can't sort of stay on board with feeling worthy, feeling deserving. It's definitely something very powerful, and it's an experience that you need to have for yourself to really realize what it is, because there's a huge shift that takes place in your energy. Um, so, like I said earlier, whether it's theta healing, whether it's Reiki, or any other form of healing that you take up, um, it's like taking your energy, your mind, your body, you're taking yourself to the spa. But then what comes after that, right? Well, you feel fantastic after a session, you feel fantastic during a session. Um, but then you need to stay focused. You need to stay focused on what you want to experience next. It's like you're taking a decision to become a deliberate creator, or you're taking a decision to choose what you want to experience in your life. And it's very, very empowering, and it's very fulfilling. Um, but it does require a bit of daily work. Um, there are many different sort of ways that you can stay connected to your alignment. There are many different ways of, sort of experiencing this connection with your creator, with your source, or just with this universe. And I think each and every one of us needs to learn to be patient with ourselves to see which technique works for us best. There are three techniques that I personally love, and they have really, really worked for me in the last couple of years. The first is sort of meditating in silence, where you learn to sit alone with your thoughts, and you learn to get comfortable in your own company. You just quieten the noise of the outside world, and you begin to follow your thoughts. You begin to follow why thoughts are coming to you, where they're stemming from, whether they're stemming from a place of love or a place of fear. How are those thoughts turning into beliefs? How are they reflecting in your beliefs? Um, and then how are those beliefs serving us? Are they protecting us from something, or are they helping us engage in certain activities that make us feel safe and protected? Um, so it's really about being able to take a bit of time out where it's just between you and you, and you begin to sort of experience step by step guidance and alignment that all comes from within. And it's very important to sort of close off all other senses and really just dive really deep into being present in the moment with yourself. So that's something that it works for a lot of people, but sometimes it takes um, a lot of practice and time before you can do this for long periods of time. It can be overwhelming at times, and sometimes people find it easier to follow meditation guides or listen to meditation guides that ease you into just sort of experiencing stillness. So, like I said, it's about being patient with yourself and seeing what works for you. Um, A second technique that I love, and it's again a part of my sort of daily alignment ritual, is listening to sort of empowering speeches, motivational speakers who talk about alignment, who talk about experiencing your wellness and your goodness and your abundance. They talk about gratitude. They talk about just taking you into a time space reality where you are completely connected. You're connected to the universe and you're connected to the love the creator has for you. A lot of people respond really well to this because, when you're hearing all these uplifting words and you're hearing all these uplifting, sort of, it leads to uplifting thoughts. You get so carried away with the momentum that there's a lot of feeling every time you hear those words. There's a lot of feeling, and feelings obviously lead to emotions, and the deeper and deeper that goes, you create a momentum for yourself. So a lot of people love listening to these talks and to these meditations and rampages where there's a constant sort of uplifting positive momentum to them. And I personally always recommend this brilliant woman called Abraham Hicks, who I've been following for years, and I love her rampages. I have a different one for different, sort of phases of my life where I feel like, um, you know, different ones appeal to me for different reasons. So again, if you're patient with yourself, you listen to different talks, different speakers, you'll see which one connects with you, which one appeals to you, which one makes you feel good about yourself. um, and the third technique, which again is definitely a part of my daily routine, and which I highly recommend, not I don't do it just for myself, but I highly recommend it to my clients as well. And I try to incorporate that into my sort of theta healing sessions, is segment intention writing. So it's journaling, but it's journaling done very differently. I don't journal to talk about I don't journal to sort of write about my triggers, or I don't journal to write about the past, and I don't journal to clear my head about my current circumstances. My journaling is about different aspects, different segments of my life. It can be my career, it can be my work, it can be relationships, it can be personal experiences, anything and everything, any segment or aspect of your life that you'd like to take. And then I don't get into dictating to the universe what I want. I talk about experiences that I would like to experience, and how those experiences would make me feel. And once I'm able to make that connection with the feeling, what that experience would make me feel, I write about that feeling and wanting to experience that feeling. The details of how, when, where, who, or how it's going to happen, I leave that all to the universe. So that really is the technique, and that is the trick, where there needs to be complete surrender. There needs to be a complete surrender where um, you sort of declare to the universe what you want to experience, and then you leave all the details up to the universe. For example, just to make it clearer, I'll give you an example. Suppose there's someone who wants to experience their, sort of success and abundance through work, in their career, and they are fixated on job A, and they keep writing about, and they keep focusing about it, they keep writing about it, they keep talking about how they will experience their abundance and success through job A. Now, what happens is that, at the end of the day, human minds are very limited. So you can end up writing pages and pages and pages. You can keep expressing your desire to the universe. But if the universe has a better plan for you, and if job A is not to bring, um, you know, all that you desire is not possible through job A, um, you're in constant resistance, because It's not that success and abundance is not available to you. Success is available to you, abundance is available to you, but you have to allow the universe to decide whether it's job A, whether it's job B, or job C that will bring it all to you. So that's where, deep surrender comes in. So you use your free will. You use your free will to express in your writing what it is that you'd like to experience, and then you leave it all to the universe. Um, so, this is a very, very interesting technique, and it works magnificently, and it can be used for anything and everything. And there's actually a workshop that I've planned around this as well that, I will be sharing details of soon, where I will be teaching people how to write without conditions and how to write with complete surrender, and also at the same time, write expressing all your desires without holding back. So it's really a win-win situation where, you're able to ask for all that you want. There's complete faith and there's complete surrender in the universe, and you're able to experience the best possible version of what you'd like. um, yeah, so it's this is a very powerful technique, and I'm very excited about the upcoming workshop that we'll be having for this. um, so this brings us to the topic of surrender as well. And I think that's a very, very sort of important aspect of every healing journey, surrendering and just the concept itself. um, and I think a really good place to start with surrender is to remind yourself of who you're surrendering to. So you're surrendering yourself to a creator who is completely unlimited. You're surrendering yourself to a creator who is all powerful. You're surrendering yourself to the creator of this universe and all the worlds, and you're surrendering yourself to the creator who has created love and well-being and abundance and all that's good in this universe. Um, and entering this phase where you're able to surrender everything, to the creator who is infinite and who is limitless, um, you actually start to experience living without fear. And I think living without fear is the most underrated experience ever, because when you're living in fear, you're constantly, um, you're living in survival mode. Because when you're fearful, you're fearful for your survival. So all your responses are for the purpose of survival. Um, so, I mean, just to give you an example, you can imagine a tiger walking through the jungle, and this tiger is very, very fearful and believes that he needs to protect himself, and he'll be attacked. And he also needs to be very careful about his prey and his eating, and there will always be so much competition, and there will be so many other tigers trying to eat the same food. So now this tiger who lives in this beautiful jungle, um, will spend most of his time experiencing hiding, experiencing worrying, and just sort of experiencing stressing about his next prey, right? And then on the other hand, now imagine a tiger who knows that the jungle is full of food and he's going to get his prey, and feels like, there's no one who can harm him. That tiger is going to go around the same jungle, experiencing a very different version of it, where he'll enjoy the scenery, he will enjoy lazing around, he will enjoy playing with his cubs without a worry in the world. So that's really how your life changes and how your experiences change when you are able to surrender to the universe and realize that there is really nothing to worry about when you give up control and you allow the universe to take over. There isn't anything that the universe can't deliver to you. And just to keep that in perspective, if just close your eyes and think about perfectly how perfectly the earth spins. You think about um, the complete perfection with which the sun and the moon know what to do every day, how water knows how to flow upstream and downstream. Think about plants and think about how they know how to take nutrition from the soil, from sunlight, from water. You think about the animal kingdom and you think about how each animal knows his or her place in the circle of life, and you just think that uh, look at your magnificent body, and you see how your heart knows how to pump blood every day, how your body knows how to take nutrition from food. um, all these um, all these things are in place with complete perfection, and it's not something that you need to take control of and work on every day. So there isn't anything that we as humans would want to experience and the universe is not able to deliver to us. It's just about realizing the power of who you're surrendering to and then having faith that it will be delivered to you. So there was a question about the workshop and whether it would be online. And yes, the workshop will be conducted online. Um, the workshop will be conducted online, and there are actually a number of live sessions that I'll be hosting soon as well. We started hosting them a couple of months back at the Third Space, which is my online platform for theta healing. Um, there are so many incredible women. I'm sure there are many incredible men who are also healing and doing fantastic work, but I happen to be surrounded by so many incredible women who have been my teachers. Some are my clients, and some just stand out for various qualities. And I want to introduce each one of them to my to my platform and to my audience at the Third Space, because there is so much that you can learn from another's journey, and there's so much that you can learn just from hearing about their healing, because you may connect to something that they've already experienced. um, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. So that's going to be online, and then we're starting a mother and child session, which will be a once a month session where we'll be hosting talks for mothers and children, that they can attend together, on topics like bullying, self love, unconditional love for the creator, and how to experience that as a parent, and how to allow your child to experience that as an individual and not just as an extension of yourself. um, and just about empowering your children with the right beliefs about the universe and the creator, and what they're really worthy of. So I'm really, really excited about that and looking forward to it. And I'll definitely be sharing the details at the Third Space. So there were a couple of questions which I can. Would love to hear how to continue after removing limiting beliefs and what needs to happen now. Yeah. So this is what we just spoke about. Basically, once we're done with a theta session where we go down to trying to reach the core belief, the foundation belief, and we release it. And we empower you with more fulfilling beliefs. What the process of healing means. Okay, so we'll just talk about that as well. So once all of that is done, you've rid yourself of a lot of subconscious um, emotional baggage, right? And a lot of cycles and patterns that have been holding you back. But then you need to stay focused on what comes next. And these are these techniques that we just spoke about are what help you stay focused and help you stay aligned to what you want to experience next, where you want to go from there. And that's why I said, healing is a process, it's a journey. You don't just take one step forward and stop. Life goes on and life continues, and you continue to experience relationships, you continue to experience circumstances, and you need to be constantly aligned, to your goodness. You need to be aligned to your abundance. You need to be aligned to your well-being and the belief that you're meant to experience them. Um, so daily a daily practice of staying focused to experiencing that, it just furthers the work that you do through any healing modality. It's like experiencing a lifestyle change for your soul. Um, so someone asked about healing and what it actually involves. So we spoke a little bit initially about what healing actually means to me, as a practitioner. And like I said, healing for me is it's basically awakening to the realization that we're meant to experience wellness and goodness, and that we are loved unconditionally by the Creator. Healing to me means that you're able to empower yourself. You're able to take your power back from limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, from toxic relationships, where you decide that you are now in charge of how you want to experience life. So you no longer live in reaction to anyone else, but you live life as yourself. And as I said earlier, the most powerful form of healing is when you realize that this present moment or any present moment can be the most powerful moment that you've ever experienced in your life. When you just suddenly align yourself to yourself and realize what you are meant to experience, um, and you make the present moment and every present moment the most powerful moment of your life, there's nothing that can hold you back. So in the actual theta healing session, there's a bit of back and forth with discussions around emotions, and we reach the core belief that is limiting you, or the core, sort of core belief that is holding you back. Um, in the theta state, you're in a deep meditative state where you can connect to the subconscious mind, and that is how you release those subconscious beliefs. And then staying in that state, we ask for that energy to be sort of replaced with sort of more empowering and more aligned thoughts. Um, the theta healing practice is based very deeply on the unconditional love of the Creator and your connection with the Creator. So it is a spiritually sort of inclined healing modality. Um, so it you know it it's it's a healing modality that can be practiced no matter what religion you belong to, because it's about experiencing love and experiencing the love of the Creator. So whoever the Creator is for you, um, you can experience the same sort of level of healing in the session. So the next question is, does theta healing actually go deeper and heal? So in my experience, yes, theta healing does go. It does go very deep, and I haven't personally experienced any other healing modality that goes so deep into the subconscious mind. And like I spoke about the subconscious mind earlier, your subconscious mind is like your encyclopedia, it's like your library. It's a collection, it's of records of all your memories, of all your experiences, and it is what your life reality becomes, right? Because when you have an experience, all your senses experience that experience with you, and the signals that are sent back through those senses to your brain, you form an automatic autopilot response to them. Um, and when this is done, when this is this is done often enough, um, it becomes a belief. When it becomes a belief, it becomes a part of who you are, how you think, how you function, um, and then that is how you experience life. So, in a theta session, when you're able to go into your subconscious mind and you're able to one by one remove all obstacles that are keeping you from experiencing the best version of your life, or keeping you from experiencing the best version of your relationships, it's a very, very deep healing that takes place. Um, you know, and it's an experience that is different for each individual. Some of my clients experience feeling much lighter for many days. Some experience a lot of clarity of thought. Others experience a lot of release where um, they feel like there's there are a lot of emotions that are being released. That could be, the release could take place in the form of sleeping. Sometimes people feel like sort of just indulging in crying or being alone with themselves for a while, and others just experience being happy. But there is definitely a shift that takes place energetically. How you experience it is personal, to you and to your theta healing session. Um, the more healing that takes place, I feel like the one sort of major shift that I've seen in most of my clients is that, the deeper we go with the theta healing sessions, clarity comes quicker and quicker. Uh, Clarity around how to experience their well-being, clarity around what are the next best logical steps to take. And to be honest, to me personally, I feel like having clarity in your life as to what you want and how to achieve it is is not comparable to any other feeling. I feel like it is the most peaceful, content, and fulfilling state to be in, where you're clear about, what you want to do next, and clear about it to the extent that there's no doubt in your mind. So yeah, and that's something that I've definitely seen in my clients, that clarity comes quicker and quicker. Clarity around whether a relationship is meant for them or not. Clarity around whether they should say yes or no to a job offer. Clarity around just the kind of food they should be eating or the kind of workout they should be doing. They're so much more connected to their mind, to their body, to their soul, and it's almost like they know how to take care of themselves and just to experience, I don't know, the universe helping them experience the best version of themselves. So our page is the third space.nzs. It's on Insta and it's on Facebook. It's my personal platform, where I hold live sessions, and I do like to post things that motivate me personally. Um, and yeah, so it's on Insta, it's on Facebook, and yes, theta healing sessions are available online. In fact, uh, currently I am only taking theta healing sessions over audio calls. Um, so I have clients who are in different parts of the world, and then I have a lot of clients who are, I'm seeing in Lahore locally. But the calls are all audio calls, and it is really just the same whether you experience a theta healing session in person or whether it's done over the phone or, a video call. The experience is the same and the results are the same. So it's really I feel like it's a lot more convenient to be able to get in touch with people as well from different parts of the world who want to experience theta sessions with me. Um, is theta something like Reiki? Well, I think the aim of uh, most of these healing modalities is the same, um, but I do think the release is different. I think I don't actually have. I don't want to say much about Reiki because I have done the first sort of level of Reiki and I have experienced Reiki, and I know it to be a very very powerful form of healing. And a lot of physical sort of I personally experienced a lot of physical energy being released, negative energy being released through Reiki. With theta healing, I feel that it's based a little bit more on you know how intuitive your theta healer is, one, and two, I think it dwells a little bit deeper into sort of digging up experiences from the past and disconnecting yourself from them and moving on from there and deciding what experiences you want as a part of your life in the future. So I'm not. I think the process is quite different. But I do know that Reiki and Theta healing both are extremely powerful modalities, healing modalities. And a lot of my clients are, they've either done a couple of sessions of Reiki and then come for Theta healing, or some, have done Theta healing and then gone on to do Reiki. So it's definitely, you know, um, it is the same family, definitely, where energy is involved. Um, so something that I would also like to talk about today, since I have this platform, and thank you so much for having me here. Um, I would really like for for mothers of sort of young children. Um, it is, I think, such a beautiful and powerful gift that we can pass on to our generations. Um, the gift of meditation, the gift of alignment, the gift of just being aware of your self worth and what our true reality is. And like I said, for me, healing really is being aligned to and awakening to what your true reality is. So if we can start that process for our children at a young age, um, there is so much stress and anxiety and so many health conditions that we see everywhere around us. Whether it's academic stress or it's the stress of, collecting abundance and wealth, the stress of success, how you look, your body, your face. There's a they're just sort of it just seems to the number of things that are stressing young people out just seem to be growing in number with every generation, every passing generation. And I feel like maybe we have a lot to learn from our previous generations, where I feel like they were more aligned to themselves and they were more aligned to experiencing a bit of solitude, experiencing their connection, with the universe, with the creator. And that's why maybe there was more contentment and more fulfillment. And this satisfaction and this contentment and this fulfillment, it doesn't come from external sources. It doesn't come from someone you're in love with. It doesn't come from your friends. It doesn't come from social media. It doesn't come from being a high achiever. It comes from being connected within, and it comes from uh, being able to accept, acknowledge, and recognize yourself for who you are, and to be okay with it. Not just be okay with it, but to be happy with it. Um, and if we can start young, we can really, really, I mean, of course, every soul is on their own journey, and you're meant to experience, experiences to grow and to evolve and to expand. But if we can start young with just the awareness of who we really are and what we're doing here and what our purpose in life is, um, it would save a lot of um, you know a lot of our younger generations from experiencing stress and anxiety and confusion and discontentment. So I would definitely advise everyone to start young with their children, with their younger siblings, or your grandchildren, or any younger soul that you have around you. So, are there any more questions that anyone would like to ask? I also want to learn. So with Theta Healing, a lot of the initial courses are now available online. I personally trained with a company in the UK called Bourgeon, which I would highly recommend. They have excellent trainers. They have excellent practitioners. My own Theta Healer is from the same company, who I went to for a number of years. It's a great platform for learning. So if anyone is interested in theta healing, I would definitely recommend Bourgeon. And now so many things are available online, and it's made it so much easier to actually sort of get a lot of quality material online where you can experience things without actually having to travel to different parts of the world. So if you'd like to learn, definitely look up Bourgeon. It's a fantastic company, and it's whether you want to practice it as a healer or not. Theta healing um, itself is such a powerful modality, and it's an experience that you can change your own life with. So whether you'd like to practice on others, or whether you'd like to, just learn it for yourself, I would definitely recommend looking into it. Thank you, Farida aunty. Thank you. Yeah, so it's been lovely talking to all of you, and I hope that I've been able to explain theta healing to you, and just been able to describe the experience of healing and theta healing, and um, given you some tips on how to stay connected and tuned in to your alignment. Um, and I would love for all of you to please join my page as well, the third space.nzs. That's where I will be updating all information on my upcoming workshops and talks and meditations. And I look forward to a lot of you joining me.